So I know we talked about a bunch of Black Ops Battle Royale yesterday, but they're doing an intel drop, so we'll go ahead and watch the video and we'll kind of talk about it as we go through it.
Visually, tonally, mechanically, it's Warzone like you've never seen it.
With Season 2 Reloaded, we're introducing a new Call of Duty Warzone experience, Black Ops Royale.
From the beginning, Treyarch and Raven have been working closely together on this to bring a fresh experience that also feels authentic to Black Ops and Blackout.
This mode really tries to invest heavily in risk and reward. You're not gonna be able to get everything you want in every game. You're gonna have to really work at it.
See, those are the upgrades, what that'll look like. Obviously, we're going to see a bunch of different mechanics in here. They do have a trauma kit. You can see they have the overhealing, where they get the extra 100 health, even though it's a little bit blurred for that effect. They do have one perk active, and then you can see when they grab this thing, it'll end up, before you can see it's a blue. It only has the 3 attachments, the base, and then it has the optic, the stock, and then the magazine. And then this applies the next build, which we kind of saw with the attachments. So pretty straightforward. It's going to give you that underbarrel grip, which pops up there. Or a rear grip rather, and then we also get the underbarrel on the next one. So you can see that there, it already applied the attachment on the actual green part.
And you're gonna have to really work at it.
So this is the first time Avalon will be in Warzone, and we're really excited about that.
Avalon was designed to support a scavenging first battle royale with the fact that there's no hot drop. Whatever you get, you're gonna have to adapt and move throughout a match, and looting is gonna be at the forefront. The changes we've made to Avalon gives Black Ops Royale room to breathe while actively pushing squads into engaging encounters across the map.
There's a lot of new systems and mechanics that original Blackout players are going to see and remember, but done in a new way for the Warzone era.
There was a few things that we felt really connected with players. The scavenging and the importance of loot was a big one. Player mobility, the grapple hook, the wingsuit, all those fun elements that people come back to when they think of Blackout. They think about flying around. The journey that players go on to upgrade their weapons, upgrade their armor, find new and exciting things in loot that give them the upper hand.
So the new ballistic systems changes.
Okay, so this is one thing it also talks about, which I'm sure they're going to explain a little bit of, is as you go from common to the next rarity, at certain milestones, depending on the weapon class, you're also going to get better bullet velocity versus the other. So that's kind of like a thing where it's going to be important, very important to upgrade through the rarity system.
How you approach combat. You need to gauge what kind of weapon you have, how far away you are.
Let's look at the distance again. So they fire the bullets and you can kind of see the tracers are hitting like the top of this little thing versus these ones are going a little bit past it.
You need to gauge.
Yeah, you can see it goes a little bit further.
You are, because that weapon determines how fast that bullet moves, how much bullet drop, and how much you actually need to lead that target.
Right off the drop, you'll notice a big difference in the pace of the match. There's no buy stations, there's no cash. Black Ops Royale is all about wingsuiting into Avalon. It's about scavenging. It's about making choices. Everything is at heightened risk in Black Ops Royale.
A player's life matters a lot more in this mode with the redeploy tokens and how rare those are out in the world.
Every player starts the match with 1 redeploy token. If you're eliminated, there's a delay before you can re-enter the fight. Redeploy towers take that tension even further. They're high-risk locations that squads can fight to control in order to bring teammates back. We've really revamped movement in Black Ops Royale by introducing the wall jump, grappling hook, and wingsuit into this mode, so all of them will be accessible to you at the start of the match.
Starting with almost nothing is intentional. When you drop into Black Ops Royale, you're vulnerable, and that vulnerability creates urgency.
One thing that was very iconic about the original Blackout, I don't know if this one will have that same feel, is how broken, insanely broken the Strife pistol was when you would land. I don't think one of the 3 pistols we have currently in the game are even remotely close to the realm, because the Strife, you could land late game and you could get a kill on somebody. Obviously, you know, maybe outplay them a little bit, but in general, those things are pretty broken. So there's a little bit of a dynamic that is a little bit nerfed in that sense, because none of our pistols currently are even remotely close to the Strife pistol that we had in Blackout.
Every decision matters. Do you land safe and loot up, or do you take a risk for better gear?
Weapons in Black Ops Royale will go from a common rarity all the way up to a legendary rarity where they'll have up to 5 attachments equipped. Our goal is, when we look at balancing these weapons across Black Ops Royale, is that every gun is viable at a legendary rarity.
Perks is definitely something that we drew inspiration from.
And naturally, the thing that he's talking about there, where every gun should be viable, because they've limited the weapon pool. I think there's only 20 weapons or so in the weapon pool out of the 43 or so weapons that are currently in the game, and that's not even accounting for aftermarket parts or prestige attachments, you want to call them, where you're going to be able to use all these different variants. So they've limited the pool, so there's less random jankiness that you're just going to avoid because it's not in the floor loot. But on top of that, when you get all these different buffs, you're getting all these huge recoil buff, you get reload buff, you get these other buffs in addition to the 5 attachments that are getting added to the weapon, or the 4 additional attachments that are adding to the weapon. So it should be superior to even that if you made the identical build in the current version of Warzone, Zombies, or multiplayer or endgame. The weapon should feel easier to use and therefore more consistent, more reliable, which this could actually push some of the harder hitting guns with more recoil towards the meta front, because they've never had this level of recoil reduction in any of the other modes. So something to be aware of. The AK could be crazy because maybe it's too easy to use now.
One of the big key differences with perks in Black Ops Royale is that by default, they will actually activate when you pick them up. However, we did want to make sure that we maintain the essence of strategy and tactics, so a player could still choose.
So what he's saying here is when you walk up to it, it's not like the current version of Warzone where you go get your loadout or you loot perks and you just have all 10 perks that you've looted or specialists. These ones are single-use items. So in this particular case, if you wanted to equip it, it would activate it right away. And as we saw in the blog, you get a 2-minute timer, 3-minute timer, 4-minute timer, depending on how long the perk lasts. It doesn't really say the length there. That'd be additional text. I don't know if that's, space for it there, but I think that could be helpful, but it's something you'll just learn. But in this case, you could stow it. You could probably stow multiple of the same one if you like a particular perk. Then once you activate it, it's going to last for that designated amount of time. So you could save it when you know, okay, we're going to be pushing this particular zone. I'm going to go for this particular activity. Then I want these specific perks. Oh, we're getting pushed. Maybe I'll pop a specific perk, and those types of things that'll fit your play style. It is weird though. This looks like a solos version of the mode. So hopefully they do come out with other versions, because as of right now, they're launching with quads. And then we'll see kind of what they have on the other end of that.
A player could still choose to pick one up into their inventory and hold on to that. Perks last for a duration. Every perk will have a timer. So contracts in Black Ops Royale have now become activities. With a contract, you're sort of locked to that contract. Activities, however, you're not locked to those. The squad can actually split, do multiple of them.
That is insane. So that is more like endgame in a sense, where you can do multiple activities and farm at the same time. Obviously, you put yourself at a little bit at risk if, maybe you do a 2-2 split, but you can actually get more map coverage. So if I want to get a satchel and my teammates want to get satchels because we want to be able to carry more than 5 plates, we want to go up to 8, then we can do a 2-2 split, do an activity, do a 2-2 split activity. And they look like this is good loot. Like literally you're getting a satchel, a trauma kit, and the attachment kit, which is going to upgrade your weapon. So this is like huge.
Risky. For instance, the surveillance drone is a unique activity. Taking one of these out will actually reveal other activities in that space. Not all activities are going to reward you in information. The safe activity will reward you in things like perks and kill streaks potentially. Most of them broadcast risk in some way. Cradle breaches are about risk. Go in, survive, and you'll get some really awesome loot.
Bringing zombies in via the Cradle breaches meant we could do some really exciting things, whether that's...
One thing that is interesting with this is from the outside, it looks like from everything we've seen, the visibility, you cannot see inside this thing. It's like you have to break through it, like actually cross into the smoke, and then you can see what's going on in there. So I think they thought about that because obviously... you'd be a pretty vulnerable target if people could just see in and shoot you while you're dealing with zombies, especially if there's a good line of sight with snipers or whatever the case is. So this one, you'll have to actually go in if you're looking to engage with other people inside that area.
Things, whether that's breaking up the pacing of a match creating new opportunities for players to go and find high value loot, as well as presenting a new risk and reward situation where maybe they can go for that loot, but they're going to be a target to other teams. You never know when they're going to drop, where they're going to drop, or what type of cradle breach it's going to be. There are two types of cradle breaches. One where you are asked to eliminate zombies, and then as you eliminate enough zombies, you can roll a mystery box and see what rewards you get. Another type of cradle breach is the mangler boss. You got to take him out while dealing with some other zombies in the area, and once you eliminate him, you get some really powerful drops.
Engaging with these activities are going to bring a layer of risk because once you're in the cradle gas, it's hard to tell where people are outside of the gas.
Over time, Call of Duty Warzone has evolved in incredible ways, and that evolution creates space for a mode that puts progression back into the match and makes every pickup meaningful.
From the beginning, we were excited to collaborate with Raven on this. The result is a mode that's clearly rooted in Black Ops, but built to live and thrive inside Warzone.
We couldn't be more excited for you to experience Black Ops Royale and Call of Duty Warzone Season 2 Reloaded on March 13th.
Okay, so I'll probably have a little bit more of a video talking about some of the things, the pros and cons of the mode, because there are things about this that are great for people getting back into the game, new players, but I also fear that the skill gap is going to be a little bit higher, so that could also present its own issues, especially if you're dealing with somebody who prefers to hang out in casual or something like that. That might not necessarily be the mode for them, but this is going to be in addition to Resurgence, regular Warzone casual stuff. So there's enough for everyone except for Plunder's still not there. So I guess we'll see kind of what happens with that. Enjoy the video, hit the like button, see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.